Solo. Solo on the beat.
Oh, I have been muted. Oh my gosh. All right, I'll restart that intro. Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing? I'm Ryan Lalu from Major League Hacking. It is great to see so many familiar faces again. I see someone in chat asking how to join the Tetris event, and I recommend to go to ghw.mlich.io. And from the schedule, I can see that the Tetris mini event is starting in 1 hour. But yeah, nice seeing you all again. Today, we're going to be going over Figma to code. We're going to be learning how to master design with dev mode. So if anyone wants to drop in chat and let me know what they've enjoyed so far in GHW, and what they're looking for, feel free to let me know. But without further ado, I'll go ahead and begin the workshop. So, but before I do that real quick, don't forget to sign in using this link right here down below. This is going to be how you're able to earn points to get swag from this Global Hack Week. You can also sign in with the QR code right there on the far right of the screen, and yeah. So again, reintroducing myself, I'm Ryan Lalu. I'm a coach at Major League Hacking. I'm a Figma enjoyer, and I'm a D1 yapper. So a few notes before we get started here. First of all, thank you for coming. It's nice to see so many familiar faces here again. So let's go ahead and begin. So during this workshop, we're going to be covering 5 different sections. We're going to first be getting access to Figma Dev Mode. We're then going to be covering Figma fundamentals. Then we're going to be learning how to work with dev mode, build a quick project, and then bring it to life. The good news is that Figma actually updated their application recently after Figma config. So we're going to be working through the new version of Figma. So you may be asking yourself, what is Figma? Well, their mission is to make design accessible to all. We're going to see through their applications they really do make design accessible for everyone. So first off, Figma has 4 different products. The first being Figma Design. It's their most popular one, and you can think of it as an online multiplayer canvas. It's free, popular, and an industry-leading tool for designers, PMs, and developers. You can create, share, and test designs, and you can make websites, mobile apps, wireframes, and other digital products with this application. Think of it as a Adobe Photoshop, but for web. Next is FigJam. FigJam is like multiplayer whiteboards. You can use it for meetings, brainstorm, diagramming, planning, etc. You can use text, shapes, drawings, images. You can use so many different tools to visually represent ideas. And again, think of it as a physical whiteboard that you can use IRL, but instead of IRL, it's now in your computer. After that, we have Figma Slides. Think of Figma Slides as an online multiplayer slide creation tool. It has, it's kind of like Figma Design, where you can design individual, elements in the page, but it's in slide format this time. So you can create this concurrently with other users and integrate widgets to get feedback. And we're actually using this right now for this presentation. After that, we have Figma Dev Mode. Think of it as an online developer assistant. It has advanced inspection and code gen tools so that you create and turn your designs into code very simply, which is really cool. So for this workshop, we're going to be covering how to use Figma Design and Dev Mode. So you may be asking yourself, why should I use Figma? Well, quite simply put, Figma is the industry standard tool for designing products used by the vast majority of Fortune 500s and startups. I guess one of the biggest perks about learning Figma is leveraging the design systems and kits, which we'll see in a second. So you may be asking yourself, where do you get started? Well, Figma has an entire community of design libraries and kits for you to use. You can choose from favorites like Apple's iOS and iPad OS UI kit, Google's Material 3 design kit, and Figma's simple design system. You may have noticed, if any of y'all were keeping up with WWDC, that Apple just released an entirely new design system called Liquid Glass. So the cool thing is Figma is actually teasing the new Apple design system, and you might see that in Figma really, really soon. So if you want to be prepared and start developing with Liquid Glass, Figma is the place to go. So the theme here is saving time. Figma has preloaded design kits that will save you a lot of time so you don't have to make it from scratch. I see in chat we have someone asking, as a data scientist, do you need to learn Figma? Honestly, in my personal opinion, I think everybody should learn how to design things. As a data scientist, I guess you're more so trying to find patterns in data, and then maybe a little bit of trying to visually represent the patterns in data. I think personally that being able to better present your data is a way to better and more effectively convey your results or convey what you found. So I think, in my opinion, learning design is important for any aspect of computer science or any aspect of just day-to-day in general. It's really important to learn how to design, as thinking about the user is how you convey your ideas better. Sorry if that was a little bit of a yap. All right. And saying all of this, with their 3 design kits, we have iOS and iPad OS. You can see here, really nifty. Again, Figma is going to soon be releasing their iOS and iPad OS kit, but for Liquid Glass. I guess Apple's new design system. Next is going to be Material 3 Design by Google. And then just Simple Design System by Figma. So you might be asking yourself, well, why should you use Figma over using tools like V0, which is Vercel's AI UI builder with prompts, or ChatGPT? It's pretty simple. It's all about the design. By designing with Figma, you have more opportunities to think and design towards the end user. Most online products are designed by teams that use Figma. So if you think about it, if you have a team that is designing for the user, you're more likely to convey your message to the user and get them to act appropriately. Compared to if you just use V0 or ChatGPT, where you're more so just having this LLM design it for you, which sounds nice and simple, but you're taking the short way out, and you may not get the best result in the end. Most online products are actually designed by teams using Figma, so This works in the real world. So during the process of bring designs to the device, designers hand off their designs to developers who convert them to code. That's normally how you see designs move into products. So gaining design experience with Figma will make you a more marketable engineer. Whether you're a data scientist, a software engineer, a product manager, it is good for everyone to learn. So where can we begin? So I guess, where can we use Figma? Well, you can use it on Chrome, Firefox, Windows, Mac, mobile, and also VS Code. So saying all of that, they have a web browser application, they have a mobile and a desktop app, and they have a VS Code extension. So again, you can use Figma pretty much anywhere, including your IDE. So let's work on getting access to Dev Mode, which is actually free for students, but paid if you're a professional. So the simplest way to do it is to go to mlh.link/Figma, and following this developer workflow, by selecting education, by selecting your name, putting your email, selecting student, typing in your institution, and then typing agree, and then sending your proof of education. I see someone asking in chat, what are the differences between Figma and Adobe XD? That is a great question. I think, in my opinion, there's a strong difference. One of them is with Adobe XD, I'm pretty sure you can't design collaboratively. You have to first save and then send it off to another developer to work on it. Versus Figma, where you can do it all at the same time with multiplayer collaboration. The good thing about Adobe XD is you get the strong prototyping tools, but Figma also does the same, and Figma has a vast repertoire of community-made plugins that make it really easy to design and find cool tools. I know Adobe has the same, but it's less of a community-based, It's less community-based and more so paid feature-based. And Figma is free, especially for students. If you want to use their pro features, it's free. But with Adobe XD, you have to pay for Adobe Creative Cloud, which for most students is a pretty big financial burden. And Figma is cloud native, while Adobe XD, I guess, can be cloud native if you use the Creative Cloud, but it's also mostly on local. So yeah, I'm gonna give everybody 3 more minutes to continue to sign up for Figma Dev Mode. Again, it is free. It should take less than 5 minutes if you use the link mlh.link/Figma. But yeah, I'll give everyone 3 minutes.
Solo on the beat.
All right, as our time is winding down, I see a few comments in chat. I see someone asking, if I'm not a student, what should I do? So unfortunately, Figma Dev Mode is only free for students and educators. If you are not a student, I'd recommend maybe checking with your company if you or if they're able to cover it. If they're not able to cover it, then it might be worth checking out a plan or just using Figma for free. Figma, the majority of the product is free for everybody to use. It's just certain features like Dev Mode, which will require either being a student or having some kind of pro plan. I see Ved saying hi from India. Hello, Ved. Nice to meet you. I see Shravanik saying, I have a team with an education plan. How do I get Dev Mode from that? So if you have a team with an education plan, that is all you need. When you create the designs, which we'll talk about in a second, you'll just have to create it inside of that team. This person said, I have an education account from the previous Global Hack Week. Awesome. Yeah, that's all you need to have. Once you have the account from a previous Global Hack Week, just bear with us as we move on to the next step. So yep, I guess we're going to continue and move along. So before we begin with actually creating a design and turning it to code with Figma Dev Mode, let's go ahead and learn some design basics. So if you are not a designer or you haven't used Figma before, do not worry. We're going to be covering the basics together. And this should bring you up to par, up to speed with what we'll need to continue. So a design file has 4 distinct regions. It has the canvas, the toolbar, and the left and right sidebars. You can pan and zoom in and out of the canvas using the controls listed on the screen. So for mouse, if you're trying to pan and move around, you can hold down space and left click around and drag to pan, or you can scroll while hitting command or control plus space to zoom in and out. If you're on trackpad, slide using 2 fingers around to pan, or pinch with 2 fingers to zoom in and out. All right, next, the toolbar. The toolbar is where almost every single tool is located. For the purposes of this workshop, we'll be using move, frame, shape, and text. So click V, click R, click T, and click F. Those are the 4 things we'll be using. That's going to be this first icon, the second icon, the third icon, and the 5th icon. All right, the left sidebar gives access to layers, pages, and assets. The assets pane or panel is right here. You can view local components or find components from kits or libraries. For the purpose of this workshop, we're not going to be using the asset panel, but the file panel is where we are going to be, or what we are going to be using. So the file panel is what will show the pages and the layers panes. So the pages pane will contain all of the pages. Think of it like different Google Sheets inside of a Google Sheet. Different sheets instead of a Google Sheet. And below it is going to be layers. Think of that as a HTML tree, or think of it as layers of a cake. Those layers of a cake are going to be our elements, and each of them are going to be in a different layer. And then after that, we have the main menu on the top left over here. You can view local components or find components from kits or libraries by using any of these 3 buttons. From there, we have the right sidebar. This is where you can find and access more info about your designs. So you'll see that there are 2 panels here. You have design and you have prototype. Prototype is how you can view and edit interactions, flows, and settings. Again, for this workshop, we're not going to be using this. We're going to be sticking purely with design. And design is where you can edit designs and properties of your layers and elements. A quick note, when nothing is selected, you can view local resources like colors and textiles, but when a layer is selected, you can view and explore properties of the selection. So you'll only see these settings on the left-hand side here. If you are using if you are clicked onto a element. That is pretty important to note. It might become confusing later on. So let's go ahead and continue. So yeah, those are the basics, but there's so much more to go through. And we can't cover all of it during this workshop. So if you want to learn more about the different tools and resources, I recommend going to mlh.link/Figma resources. This is how you can learn a lot more about how to use Figma. So let's go ahead and move on to the UI card project. So we're going to be moving on to, I guess, let's work on Figma itself. So while normally we'd go through this presentation about how to use everything, we're going to move on to, we're going to work with doing it on Figma and doing it live. because Figma had a few changes that might not be the same anymore. So you can see over here, I have a file already created. Actually, I'm gonna make a new file real quick. So bear with me as I make a new one. We're gonna make a new design file right here. I'm gonna name the file on the top left. I'll actually try to zoom in, see if it's possible. So I go into view and then zoom with a plus. I thought I was doing that. Oh, I guess it's zooming into the canvas itself. Let's see if we can get the UI. Okay, it looks like I can't zoom into the UI, but that should be a-okay. I'll just zoom to fit. Okay, so I'm gonna name this file GHW GenAI 2025, and we can begin. So the first thing you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to create a text box. So in the canvas, I'm gonna click the T key, and I'm gonna click on the canvas, and here I'm gonna type in some text. For the purpose of this workshop, I'm gonna talk about, I guess I'm gonna try to display my different hackathon wins. So I'll do my first hackathon win. After that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to make it 24-point font. So here I'm gonna change it from 12 to 24. And I'm gonna make it bold by hitting, or I guess selecting this font size select menu, and I'm gonna click on bold. You can also select the text and hit Control B to toggle it from bold to unbold. And there we have our text. Next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit the R key, which will select the rectangle shape tool. And I'm just gonna drag it out and place it above my text saying my first hackathon win. And for now, you can see it has a color. In a few, we're gonna change it from colors to a picture. So now that I have that created, I am going to add some more text. So I'm gonna add text below the title text, and this is gonna be my description. So for now, I'm gonna select, I'm gonna make it, let's say 16-point font, I think. Yeah, let's make it 16. And let's type in at, actually, let's talk about like HackCon. My first HackCon experience. Let's talk about HackCon instead. At my first HackCon, I got to meet a lot of cool individuals and learned more about their hackathons, strategies, and styles. There were, or I guess, I had so many great conversations, and I'm happy to be back in 2025. Awesome. So I have that text right here. You'll notice that the text, as I write more and more, will infinitely expand to the right-hand side. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select under layouts, I'm gonna select this middle option that is auto height. When I select auto height, I'm able to then resize this to make it the same size as everything else here. Actually, I'll make it a little bit bigger then. Yeah, let's make the card a little bigger, and size it to be the exact same size for now. So after that, we now have what resembles almost our first UI card. Let's go ahead and add an image here. So what we would normally do is we would select an image from this panel where we can see the image icon. But instead of uploading one from a computer, I'm going to use our new AI tool to generate an image. So when I click make an image, I can actually type in MLH HackCon in Kopaki, New York. I guess I'll do in a campground in Kopaki, New York. Okay, so I'll type in that prompt and let's see if it's able to pull from what it knows and generate an image of HackCon. So it's still generating. We'll give it a little bit of time. And while it is changing, I'm going to add some different music. Oh, there we go. Awesome. So we can see that we now have this image saying MLH HackCon in a campground in Kopaki, New York City. And you see it has the MLH logo. That is awesome. I'm actually going to expand this a little bit so you can see the full image. Beautiful. That is freaking awesome. Awesome. Okay, so we have our MLH HackCon card. Let's go ahead and continue from here. So what I'm going to do is I am then going to create a new frame. So I'm going to select all the elements here, and I'm going to hit the combination. Because I'm on Mac, I'm going to hit Option Command G, which will make it a frame. If you're on Windows, you can use Control Alt G. So they should now all be grouped together under this frame called Frame 1. So from here, we made a frame. We made a frame. Let's now make this auto layout so it resembles, I guess, Flexbox in CSS, which we'll cover a little bit later why that's important. So I'm going to select the frame, and I'm going to click Shift A. From here, you can see it will automatically make everything kind of fit into size. And this is the perks of using auto layout, which is also known as Flexbox in CSS. So to explain a little bit more what this is, auto layout is the equivalent of Flexbox in CSS. This allows us to dynamically organize items inside of the frame based on the auto layout rules we provided, which is helpful for allowing applications to organize itself dynamically with changing screens and viewport sizes. And think of viewports as your screen size. So it's basically a better way to relationally have items sorted. So now that we have everything in auto layout, which will help whenever we export this to code, let's add some more stylistic finishings here. So what I'm going to do is in the right sidebar, under the auto layout section, we can set the height to hug. So we can see right here, the height is already hug and the width is fixed. Let's just keep the width fixed for now. But for, I guess, some explanation, hug, think of it as we're telling this box to adapt to the contents that are inside of it on the height. So think of it as squishing all the content in and making it fit the minimum space. And if you're wondering what fill is, sometimes I don't think we have a fill. We will have a fill if we click on the images. Fill is, think of it as filling the maximum space of the container. So this image is going to take the maximum width of the container that we've defined, which we defined it to be 350 pixels. After that, let's go ahead and make the layout direction be vertical. We can see it already did that. Let's make sure the alignment is on the left. It's already doing that. Let's make our gap 6. So right now the gap is 12. We're going to make it 6. And let's make the horizontal and vertical padding 24. So I'll add 24 on each side. And now we can go into appearance here, and we can click, or I guess we can drag the corner radius to be, let's make it 24. So we can drag it to 24, or we can write 24 in. And let's set the stroke to be 2. So if I click the plus button on stroke, I can make it 2. And I can make a fill with a background of white here. So now we have our first UI card. I see in chat we have a question. Can super nice fonts also automatically adapt? Yeah, so font sizes should automatically adapt. You can see here I'm using Inter, but if I selected something like, what's another cool font? What's the Figma font again? I forgot the name of it. Well, I'll just select, what's a funny font? I'll do Gilroy if I have that. Gilroy is a fun font. You can see Gilroy is a little bit larger and it adapts dynamically to it. So I guess the way it does it all automatically. It's great. You shouldn't have to worry about font sizes, which is a cool perk of using Figma. So now that we have our first UI card, let's go ahead and I guess work on making our UI container. So now that we have one of our UI cards right here, we can create a container that will act as our viewport. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to select the frame tool. And from here, I'm just going to select desktop on the top right. And I'm going to hit Macro Pro 14-inch. So this will, for now, mimic what our viewport is going to be like. So I'm going to, in this container, I'm going to make it auto layout. So I'm going to select it, hit Shift A, and it's now auto layout. So before, or I guess as I put my first frame into here, I'm going to describe what auto layout is again. So this container, think of it like an Amazon delivery box. We have, I guess, items or packages inside of this delivery box. And if we wanted to convey to another person how they're located inside of this box so they can replicate it, there's a few things we'll have to describe. So we're gonna have to describe where this card is in relation to this box, right? So you can see on this auto layout segment on the right-hand side, if we're selecting top left, we're aligning everything to the top left of this box. If we select bottom left, it's gonna be aligned to the bottom left of the box. If we select bottom right, it's bottom right, top right, top right. But the reason why we are not seeing it do it right now, I think, is because I'm selecting the wrong thing. That's why. If we select this box, if I move it to the top right, the bottom left, the center, this is how we describe this item inside of the box relatively to the box itself, right? So we're saying right now we want it to be a horizontal row, which means that if we start adding more cards right here, it's going to move on in a row pattern. If we select it being if we select it as a column pattern, it's going to move as a column, going straight down instead of going horizontal. So what if we want it to start wrapping around? That way we don't have to worry about it going infinitely to the right and then we can't see anything else. So the way we do that is using wrap. So if I select this row right here, I can select this icon hidden in the far right corner called wrap. And from there, it's going to automatically move it. If it's going to overflow from the right, it's going to move it down to the next row. So now if I continue Control Ving, you can see that it's going to add more and more items. And it's going to clip it. So if it goes out of bounds, it's going to automatically clip it and stop it from going over. So just like that, we have basically created what is a web page here with a bunch of different UI cards. And that is pretty much everything. So just for some stylistic extras here, I am going to add some stylings to make it look a little bit better. So I'm going to set the layout to be wrapped, which we've already done. I'm going to align it to the top left, which we've already done. I'm going to set the gap to be 32. And then I am going, actually, let's make it a little bit less. Let's make it 16. Yeah, 16 is good. And we're going to make the horizontal and vertical padding 64. I guess we can make it 32 again. And I guess for fun, I'm going to align it to the center here. So yeah, just like that, we now have this UI card page. Just to confirm, I'm going to make sure this is fixed height, fixed width, which looks good to me. And we should be good to go working into dev mode. So just like that, we've designed everything that we need for this UI card application. And next, we're going to be moving on to the dev mode basics. So let's go ahead and hop back into our slideshow. We'll go back here. Let's go ahead and learn a little bit about dev mode. So dev mode can be accessed by using this icon on the bottom right here that looks like a dev icon. And if we toggle that, we're enabled and we're now in dev mode. So a very big important concept of dev mode is ready for development, or RFD. In the top right of every single frame, you'll see a RFD icon. It's going to be really tiny, but if you click it, it'll toggle it. So let's go ahead and go back to our UI and toggle on dev mode over here. You'll see that Figma has also added a new mode called draw, but we won't need that for the purpose of this workshop. So on the top right here, we see a ready for development icon. I'm going to go ahead and toggle that as RFD. And you should see now in the left-hand sidebar, we have our page ready for development. So some cool things you'll see on the left-hand side here is we're able to view every single layer and every single element that we, or I guess of the page that we've ready for development. We can see it all here. So if I click on any of them, we're able to see all of the properties on the right-hand side in the right sidebar, and we can click through all of them and view the properties. So you can see from first glance, there's a lot of stuff here. So let's dissect it. So under the inspect pane, we're able to see the type of element it is, the text content, the layer properties. So you can see that the font size is 16, but the total size with the leading size, or I guess what's it called? It's called leading height is 19 total. So they give you a diagram here to explain it all. We can also see, we can toggle it to be in code view or in list view. So in list view, think of it as a code agnostic way to describe what is here. If we want to hand it off to a designer, for example, or if we want it in code mode. So you can see code mode, it gives us an HTML snippet. It gives us the text styles, gives us the colors, the text content, and the export options. If we were to select plugins, we can see all of the community plugins that we can use to convert these designs into code in some way, shape, or form. So for the purpose of this workshop, we're going to stay in the Inspect tab, but we're going to use the code gens, which kind of similar to plugins, and we're going to use the ones that are provided here. So you can see that Figma actually provides so many different free code gens. We have CSS, we have Swift UI and UI Kit with iOS, we have Compose and XML for Android, and then we have the wide variety of plugins from the community. So for the purpose of this workshop, we're going to be using the Figma to Code extension, which is this that you see right here, and we can convert it to so many different code exports. So we have Swift UI, Flutter, Tailwind with JSX, Tailwind normal, styled components, Svelte, React, and HTML. So just to show it as a proof of concept, let's convert it to React.js. And if I select this overall page, you can see that we have inline styles with React styling and everything in the page. So just like that, we're able to convert the design into React code. So let's try making it vanilla HTML so we're able to view it without having to import everything. If I select HTML as our code gen, you can see that everything is styled using inline styling, and we have every element here. So what I am going to do is I am going to copy this. I am then going to go to my desktop, and you won't be able to see this because I'm hiding it right now. But what I'm doing is I'm essentially, let me switch tabs if I can. I'm essentially following these steps on the far left. I am going to, somewhere in my computer, create a new.html file. So I'm going to do that real quick. You won't see anything, but trust me, I am creating it right now. I'm going to name it, let's name it Figma, GHW, GenAI.html. I am then going to enter in it. Okay, now that I've opened it, I'm going to paste it. I'm going to save it. And if everything works well, I should be able to open this up with Chrome. And you should be able to see it here. Awesome. Yeah, so you can see that the images aren't showing here. To fix that, it's a simple, just downloading this image. If I go back here, if I download this asset right here, and it should be on my computer. And let me just check the code one more time to make sure it's working. Give me 1 second. One moment. Opening it up. Let me just make sure that the image is correct. Oh, never mind. It generated it using placeholders. So it's using some placeholders for now, but it is a-okay. But you can see here that we now have our site. So you can see that as I try to change my my zoom in if I zoom in and out here, you can see that it adapts the page, and you can see everything is centered. It wraps now, and everything looks amazing. So we have all of that working here. So just like that, we were able to turn our web page into fully working code very, very simply. That was done in less than 10 minutes, including design and turning it into code. And that is the pro of using Figma Design and Dev Mode. So saying all of that, going back into the conclusion here, voila, that is it. We have designed a web mockup in Figma Design and converted it to Dev Mode in less than 10. If you want to experiment more with Dev Mode, try it in VS Code. It's pretty cool. I use it for my full-time job. It is an amazing tool to use, and if you love it, try using more of the products, more of the features. You can see more of those in the Figma Learn and Figma Resource Center, which we have provided a little bit back here, right here. If you want to learn a little bit more, go to this link in the, I guess, to the right over here to learn a little bit more. And saying all of that, that is pretty much everything. So thank you so much for staying during this presentation. I hope everyone enjoyed it. If you would like, take a picture of this slide or scan the QR code and feel free to fill out the survey and tell us how we did. If you enjoyed it though, let me know. If not, feel free to join us and stick around at the stream for about 16 more minutes, where we'll be holding a Tetris Mini event with Varshini right after. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, I hope everyone enjoyed it. Sorry if I was a little bit jumbly and a little bit yappy this stream, but if you have any other questions, feel free to let me know in Discord. If not, we'll also be holding this workshop again tomorrow. But without further ado, I can't speak right now, sorry. Besides that, thank you all for joining me, and take care and enjoy Global Hack Week. Bye, everyone.